Anyone needs coffee? Yes? I'll not take more than 15, 20 minutes, promise. It was 1994. I was in 9th grade, not very far behind from some of y'all. A lazy Sunday morning, watching TV with my family. And I see this ad. There's a packed cricket stadium, and a batsman swings the winning six. The crowd cheers up. But there's a girl in the corner who is excited and happy at another level. So happy that she jumps up, takes a bite of Cadbury's dairy milk, and grooves into the stadium till she goes and hugs the batsman, sharing that dairy milk. When I saw that ad, I wondered, who is this person who could turn a simple chocolate into an expression, a symbol of uninhibited happiness? And that's when I knew that someday I would want to be that person. And I did. Today, I'm not here to tell you much about, how brand, marketing, advertising, etc. works. But what I want to share is something a little more deeper. It's a life insight of one common thing that rests in brands as well as us as people, all of us. And that is the urge to win. What is a brand? A brand is nothing but a product layered with emotion to get a response from the buyer. As people, we are all brands too. We all want to win. We all want to create an impression wherever we go. We want to create a differentiation for ourselves, to have our own tribe, our following, and to be remembered even when we are not in the room. The epiphany, however, is that while we all want to win, you want to win attention, you want to win love, you want to win at your ambition. But before we win the world, we need to win over ourselves. The world today is moving at a breakneck speed. What is here today is gone tomorrow. For decades, the only source of information used to be newspapers, journals, magazines, and television. Right around the time when I completed my graduation, Google was the next new thing. And that was literally the best thing that happened to us because information was available at a press of a button. No more library cards, no more queuing up, etc. Since then, it did not even take 2 decades for someone like an Amazon to unknowingly become a competition, because when we know what we want to buy, we don't need to go to Google. We straight go to Amazon and search it. And now, not even a decade later, it's just 5-7 years, we have OpenAI. Anything you want, just throw in your word, not just the search, but a complete analysis is offered to you in a platter. The jobs that are there today may not be tomorrow. So what is it that we need to do to win? The moot point is that we are living in a tech-accelerated world. And the only way that we can tide this and continue to grow is by reinventing ourselves. Whether it's a brand or us as individuals, if you don't continue to reinvent yourself as the world keeps changing and moving ahead, you will lose out. And I'm not talking about the race. You will lose out on the currency, on the relevance. And that is absolutely essential for you to win. We have our own little mini universe. We call it the sphere of influence. There is the outer environment, which is consistently changing and not in your control. Whether it's trends, economic shifts, COVID, tariffs, it's all outer environment. You can never change it. It'll impact you. You cannot impact it. All you can do is ride the wave. Now, whether you ride or you sink is a reflection of how your core is. That's the second component. Our core is essentially the foundation. It is who we are innately as human beings. Our core is developed in very early stages of childhood and rarely changes till the time we pass. The biggest mistake that we do is we effortlessly keep trying to change the core. Why? Because everybody is doing this, even I need to do this. I might be an introvert, extrovert, laid back, ambitious. You be you. Do not try to be someone else, because if you are not true to your core, you will never be able to march ahead. Now, between the core and the outer environment is this magical thing called the inner environment. The outer environment, constantly changing, not in your control. The inner environment cannot change. The core cannot change. But the inner environment can change and is in your control. What is this inner environment? It is basically how you respond or react to what the outer environment keeps throwing at you. To be able to respond the right way so that you're able to hop from one wave onto another and keep marching ahead on the path that you've chosen for yourself, you need to solidify your core. I'm sure all of us would have heard this statement at some point in life, that make your foundation strong. At a school and college level, that foundation is education. At a workforce level, that foundation is the skill sets and the capabilities that you need to develop in the field of expertise that you've chosen for yourself. At a brand level, it is the brand purpose, the value that you have committed to your audience. You need to deliver it time and again. And as individuals, that fundamental foundation is your core, who you are. You need to be aware of it. We need to accept it with its strengths, weaknesses, all its limitations. Because when we do that, we know what is it that works for us and what does not work for us. The moot point is that the world is ever evolving, right? And the only thing that can help you forge ahead is being relevant. Let me give an advertising example here. Not an advertising, but a brand example here. Netflix was originally a DVD rental company. Yeah, I see a lot of nods. Awesome. Then what happened? 5G and fantastic devices with amazing resolution. That is the outer environment. You have content at the palm of your hand. Who needs to rent DVD? But did Netflix shut down? No, right? Because instead of getting impacted by the outer environment, they looked at their core, saying, what is it that we have that is our real strength? And that was reams and reams of content with distribution rights. All they had to do was digitize it. And we all know that they not just created new benchmark for content, they also proved to the world that if your content is good, the consumer is going to pay for it. So it is absolutely essential for you to know where your strengths and weaknesses lie, to accept it, so that you're able to identify what outer environment is throwing at you and what is the kind of response that you should be giving back at it. To be relevant, you need to be two things: authentic and adaptive. Authentic is just being real. It's a word that we very, very regularly use in the brand and marketing environment. But that is who we really are. It is absolutely important for us to put our real self forward. Because if we don't, then we are not sending the right message outside. We are not attracting the right people around us. We are not attracting our right audience. We might still make an impression, but in the wrong room. The second part is adaptability. And this is even more important, because if you are authentic but not adaptable, you will still become an unintended victim of the ever-evolving outer environment. Adaptability is where the inherent need to continuously upskilling yourself comes in. As a brand, you have to keep evolving yourself as the world keeps changing. In marketing parlance, businesses used to look at celebrities and great taglines once upon a time. Today, they are just brand recall. They do not aid buying decision. It is real value and real experience that does. That trend shift, and brands who have been able to make that shift are loved even today. Brands that failed are either a history or becoming one soon. Why just brands? Let me tell you about myself. I told you about my ambition, right, in 9th grade. But you know what? By the time I reached my career level, where I was in a position where I could influence creative decision making, they weren't doing so many TV ads anymore. Digital was the new reality. Now, I could have stayed in mainstream advertising and said, no, this is my dream and this is what I'm going to stick with. But something inside me told that, no, the world is changing and I need to change too. After 11 years in mainline advertising, I took the plunge to move into digital. Not knowing much, except that, hey, it's a brand, it's the same audience, but instead of TV, now they're going to see my video on Facebook, or YouTube for that matter. You know, my first month as a digital marketer, I did not even know how to create hashtags. I actually thought you had some tool to create hashtag. From there, from questioning myself, that have I taken the right decision, to correcting myself, realizing that the fact that you're creating a brand does not change, even though the medium changes. And that understanding, that learning, helped me continuously evolve myself as media landscape changed over the years. From digital communication to digital transformation to creating content production at scale, where I literally set up an ecosystem where from one office in India, we were delivering content for 90 countries across the world. That is the evolution of technology and media landscape. So let's not worry about what is happening in the trend today, because by the time you all are out there trying to look out for your first job, it will be a very different world. But what you need to do is win over yourself. Know who you are at the core, because only then you can channelize your strengths to be able to win over the world. Remember, your vibe attracts your tribe. Thank you.